807 HP. Granted, they're in front of a window, but I want to show you how quickly my health evaporates. I've played this game since 2016. I have not seen this much damage leave my face.
This guy about to get the tank experience?
In years. Literal years. Nearly a decade. Nearly a decade. Look. Already at 461. Already beat, like, just chips away regardless. So the health I get from beat already chips away. The second frame, I'm at 308 HP. The third frame, I'm dead. Like, just chips away regardless. The third frame, I'm dead.
What's it like to deal with just a fraction of the pain and suffering that tank players endure every single day? How's it feel?
Here are 3 tips for every rank in Overwatch, and this is for the peeps that are in the Cheese Master rank. Tag or send this to a friend that you are shocked to see them even grace Masters. Number 1, drop the ego. If you're getting diff...
That's so big.
For this instance, let's say Widow, and I'm talking you're getting 0-6'd by her, losing every 1v1. Switch and counter.
Okay, that's actually not true. This part's not true.
For the Widow. You staying and trying to get your get back is only costing you and your team lost.
There's one thing that needs to be taken into account, though, in the Widow duels, right? If you're playing hard poke and everyone's playing poke, and in certain maps like Junkertown, although after the rework, I'm not 100% sure, Circuit Royale, even if, like, let's say you're on attack, you're playing attack Widow. Attack Widow is much harder than defense Widow. Even if you're losing like 4 out of 5 fights, but the one fight you kill them, you win, that's enough, right? Now, if you all swap strategies, that's one thing, but the difference is, stay with me. The difference is, the threat is gone once you swap. Now, if your other DPS wants to take over and give it a shot, that's one thing. They're like, let me play Widow. Like, okay, fine, okay. I'm kind of getting rolled here. Have a good time. But on certain maps and certain team comps, certain game modes, like you kind of need to fight them, right? Someone's got to do it. You can't shy away. By swapping off the Widow, you give them free sightlines the whole way through, right? But if you at least are still playing Widow, they have to worry about you first, and so they can't take aggressive angles killing your team or poking your team because they have to worry about you first, right? I hear ya, and it's a good point. From the Widow duel specifically, I'm actually more of a proponent of you lost a couple in a row, but like don't tilt, lock in, give it another shot.
Lost fights resulting in lost games. Drop the ego and switch. Trust me, I know it's rough.
I would argue it's actually less egotistical to just keep trying to take the fight if you know that it's going to win it for you, than opposed to like raging about it, if that makes sense. I'm so shocked. Don't worry, buddy.
Really want to rank up. Number 2, this tip may seem simple, but understand what heroes play well on what map and vice versa. Because if you're in Masters and I see you play Ryan on Crown Royale, you will immediately
Crown Royale?
contemplate my life. Start thinking
about this ain't a whiskey, brother.
Why certain heroes play well on some maps and why some don't, and pick heroes accordingly. Too many times I'll see someone play Widow on a control point and just throw the game. Whilst you can be good, there's often better picks on certain maps. Just take this into consideration and I promise you'll start winning more games.
Okay, sometimes though, I'm not gonna lie to you, sometimes I get the Widow player on a map like this, I'm like, GG's, I don't know what's going on, dude, we're f***ed. And then they just kill 3 every fight and you're like, well, I kind of feel stupid now. I hear Ryan is in shambles. How true or false? Cloudy gave up on Ryan. That's how bad it is.
3, you may not notice it, but your positioning could be the one thing holding you back. And I'm not talking about just bad positioning.
False Cloudy fade active fire. Whoa. To be fair, it's slightly better after the Zen nerfs. So Zen got changed. He lost 25 HP and his kick isn't as far. So it's slightly better since then, but it's still pretty tough.
Let's say you're on cast, sitting with your Sig or Orisa, just shooting the enemies whenever you get the chance. That can be all good and well, but it's potentially useless. You could be far better utilized on a flank trying to take high ground for a short period of time to make the enemies switch focus and take their eyes off the main lane so your team can take space. Trust me, this can work.
Thanks for the gift, I appreciate it.
Start using these 3 tips in your next comp games and let me know how it goes. Also, tag or send this to a friend that will probably never rank out of Masters.
I mean, overall, it wasn't too bad, but sometimes I think it needs to be a little bit more specific, you know? Oh no, these are either top tier bait or just off the rails.
Does Overwatch have a quick play problem? One of the more ongoing problems that
This is quick play. Yup. This is mainly to have fun. Correct. If your team is getting stomped, it's not fun. Makes sense to me. So it's okay to counterpick in order to be able to play the game. Imagine counterpicking in quick play, pathetic sweats. Based Patrick, actually, unironically.
that most Overwatch players have faced is quick play. A ton of players and content creators in the Overwatch community have expressed their frustrations with the current state of quick play.
Comp should be the sweaty game mode. Quick play should be the less sweaty game mode.
A lot of people feel like there is no difference between quick play and competitive. Some people join quick play to learn new heroes and to
Same shirt. Oh, that's f***ed up, dude. Nah, that's f***ed up, dude.
competitive. Some people join quick
Ah, that's hey, listen, okay? Listen, okay? Typically, I do these all in one big shot, and then Retro and Random chop them up into smaller videos and stuff like that. So, like, there's a good chance you're gonna catch a lot of that kind of stuff in the same shirt, and it just so happens to be the same one today. Okay, I was wearing a black shirt earlier today, but I went out and it's like 60 degrees outside and I was out for a bit, and when I got home I was just like, oh man, you know what, I'm just gonna change shirts because it just, you know, it's just gonna feel a little bit nicer, you know what I mean? And so I just happened to
play to learn new heroes and just have a chill and fun experience. Whereas other people use quick play to perfect their skills and use it as a warm-up to their competitive games, which has created an issue when it comes to the overall vibe of quick play. Players are upset at other players for trying too hard, players are upset at the other players for not trying hard enough, and this has created an overall unfun experience for the vast majority of players. What is your opinion on the current state of quick play in Overwatch, and do you think it needs to be fixed?
This is actually pretty valid across the board. I mean, it's still kind of true today. Streamer buys a TRX and can't afford clothes anymore. Nah, dude, we're not doing this. We're not doing this one. Shut the fuck up. Anyways, realistically, just like super competitive matchmaking. Like whenever I play quick play, or when I was playing a lot of quick play, it was like always like Masters GM players every game. Like very rarely was it not. Also, being a streamer, you get a little bit hunted a little bit more, but that's a totally different issue. But anyways, why am I able to be banned by leaving a quick play match? I actually stopped playing quick play a lot because people sweating and swearing, and it makes it unfun to play. I've never seen anyone sweat in quick play. I've literally had one random teammate I heard of, and I pretty much nobody in my elo LMAO. Quick play is fine. This probably isn't like super low elo, to be fair. How do you fix people's self-perception of a game mode? Well, perception, I don't want to say perception is reality, but like people get a perception of things based off of what they're experiencing. And like the experience of quick play is much more difficult today and feels much more difficult today than it did in the past. And that's because the matchmaking for comp and quick play are basically the same. They're the exact same. We've talked about this before. Like the way the matchmaker works, it's not different. But I'm not 100% sure if old Overwatch used to actually be different. Like quick play and ranked used to behave differently, right? I don't know, but at least in Overwatch 2, it's the same system. But it may not have been in the past, and that's maybe why it felt different. So, we'll see.
The creature from Widow's Itsy Bitsy Spider highlight intro can be found on the window in Chateau Guillard. May has a peace sign victory pose, but in her pajama skin she just points upwards. This is how Farah's chuckle emote sounds normally. And here's how it sounds with her devil skin equipped. Inside Blizzard World's arcade, you can find high scores from a bunch of characters, with Sombra being number 1. On Numbani, in the reflection of Most Glass, you can see some areas that are not actually part of the playable PvP map. There's a couple of different previews you can find here, which will probably be used for future PvE. You know how Winston
Future PvE Pepe hands.
Gets all red and angry during his ultimate. Well, if you set the duration of Primal Rage to be longer than it would be in a normal match, those effects actually wear off and Winston just kinda looks confused. Soldier 76 has a sidearm in both of his classic skins despite not using one in-game. Roadhog is similar in that he has a machete on his back. Brigida's mechanic skin has this little hammer on the back, and it's the same hammer used in Tourbillon's chief engineer skin.
Dude, these are so good. I've actually learned so much from these.
May highlights, day 8.
May highlights?
I'm anticipating Res and I want to cancel it.
Oh, that's pretty smart. Although,
Bonus points if you make her look visibly confused. Hog is
the reason that worked, though, I'm pretty sure is because she was so far.
Bonus points if you make her look visibly confused.
But, yeah.
Hog is pushed
Because,
up.
like, I don't think Maywall's tall enough to break Mercy Res. I think it's because she was, like, max range and wall.
And I
That's
know
pretty
he'll
good.
get hooked, so I help.
Oh. Wait, why don't I get mazed like this?
Always look for opportunities to help.
I never get
teammates
mazed like this.
survive.
My maze wall me in.
Asterisk support stare asterisk. Did you know that in small spaces wall can push enemies forwards? I dropped the rain away from his team. Use
That's actually a
wall
good
to
tip.
lift yourself up to hit shots you may not be able to
That's another
otherwise.
actually good one. Wait,
Don't be afraid to solo ult and use it frequently. It can create unexpected opportunities.
this is kind of an evil May player, but honestly, they're pretty good. These are actually really good. Those are actually really useful. Huh. May is easy. May actual job. Well, okay, so the floor of May is pretty easy. You just wall their tank and kill them. That's it. I feel like you make a lot of enemies. That's funny. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, this is fun to look back on. Die! What is that? What is that? You want to know something crazy? You know that amount of healing is still in the game. The only difference now is the DPS passive. So now you just explode. So if you're a tank 1v1ing someone, there's that much healing still actually does exist, but the DPS gets much more kills now. So it's like, that's why tank feels so weird. You can't really explain it because like it's both stuff doesn't die or you explode. But it's much more on the explodey end now. Oh man, that's a good one though.